Hi guys, Miss K here. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this beautiful 3D flower set for my friend Paige's birthday. So if you want to see how I got this, then keep watching. So we're hopping right into the application. For the acrylic, I'm using a custom acrylic mix that I've made myself. I do plan on posting a video on how I make acrylics, so if you guys would like to see that, go ahead and make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you'll know when I post that. But anyways, I am applying the beads onto her nail. I'm just kind of starting from the bottom and moving my way up. Each bead is a little bit higher up than the last. And then this one I placed at the tip because it just wasn't thick enough for my preference. I didn't make her nails too thick, but you still want to make sure that you build an apex so that way there's no chance of the nails breaking. Then I'm putting this one by the cuticle, and as you saw, I just push it up into the cuticle and then bring the rest of the acrylic down. And then I clean up on the side walls for any acrylic that may have spilled over because I want to make sure that I don't have any on her actual skin because that'll cause lifting, and we don't want any of the nails to lift off. We want them to last. Then I'm going to apply another bead close to the cuticle. This is just to really help build up the apex a little bit more. Then lastly, I'm placing another bead here at the tip because if you can see right there, there's a little bit of acrylic missing, and I want to make sure that that's filled in also. So I'm wiping down the nail to try and keep the shape of the nail, so that way when it goes, or when it comes time for filing, I don't have a whole bunch of filing to do. So here you see I'm doing the same process. I'm going to apply it halfway down the tip. I haven't really gotten my liquid to powder ratio down very well yet, so a lot of my beads either be too dry or they be too runny, so I'm just working with really small beads. Anytime I try to use a large bead, it just be too runny or too dry, so this is what works for me. So here I'm just placing beads a little bit above the last, and then I'm going to wipe it down and keep it as smooth as I possibly can throughout the application process. So like I said earlier, when I go back in to file, there's not a whole bunch of filing to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys watch me finish applying the acrylic to these nails, and then I'll be back with you guys. Here you see me removing this little black speck. There is glitter all up in my brush from the set that I did before this, so I just kept on having to go in and remove all of these little pieces of glitter that kept getting stuck in her nails. It was kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So then I place another bead close to the cuticle, and then I'm just wiping that down. And I figured it wasn't that huge of a deal if I got all of the little glitters out because I was going to be applying the 3D flowers on top. And then you see me checking it from the side view to make sure that it's thick enough. And then, of course, wiping along the sides to keep the shape of the nail. Then back at it again on the next fingernail. This was probably one of the best applications that I've done so far. I was really proud of myself with how smooth they came out and how they basically kept their shape the entire time. Practice makes progression, so you know, I like to make sure that every time I do them, I try and keep the same routine so that way I can practice my art, but sometimes that doesn't work. But this is the best that I've ever done, I feel like, on my application. Like, it was so smooth, and the nails weren't too thick. They were the perfect thickness, and they kept their shape. Like, I'm so proud of myself with these ones, guys. Alrighty, so now going in with my Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick file in the grit 100. I'm going to go ahead and file the sides of the nail along with the tip, and then that's just so that I can crispen up the shape a little bit. But this is why I like to make sure that as I'm applying the acrylic, I'm wiping the sides of the nails and trying to keep the shape as much as I can, so that way when I go into file, there won't be a whole lot of filing to do, because filing is extremely time consuming. Like I had mentioned before in a previous video, I used to sit and file for like an hour, and that's ridiculous. I want my application process to be finished within an hour. So if it takes me an hour just to file, we're already going too slow. But, well, for my own preference. Now going in with my fine grit sanding band on my mandrel bit, I'm going to be going around the cuticle area in order to get that nice and flushed with her natural nail. So that way it basically helps with retention, and it helps to avoid any lifting or anything like that. If you can get it as flush to the natural nail as possible, then you're probably pretty good in that area. Then I'm going to take it along the length of the nail to really just smooth out the nail if there was any bumps or any unevenness. This will show you, because the part that you filed will be lighter and kind of like have a white cast, rather than the part that hasn't been filed. That part will still be whatever color the acrylic was when you applied it. So I'm just going to go in and repeat the same process on all of her nails. And I also go underneath the nail and file the bottom, yep, just like that, in case there's any acrylic down there. That helps just crispen up the shape a little bit more. So using some Young Nail Swipe, I'm going to be wiping away any of the debris that's left from filing her nails. This also dehydrates the nails as well as cleanses them. So I like to use this before I apply acrylic and before I apply any gel polish. And the top coat I'm going to be using is Beetle's Top Coat, Top Gel. And I'm going to apply this to all of her nails, and then I'm going to have her cure them in the light for anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes. Alrighty, so now I'm going in and applying the 3D flowers on her nails. The pink color that I'm using is number 196 by Valentino Beauty Pure. The orange is number 110. And the white color that I'll be using is called Glistening Snow by Kiara Sky. And if you see a glittery color, that is Iceberg by Kiara Sky. And then for the leaves, I'm using Green with Envy, also by Kiara Sky. So I didn't get a lot of footage of me applying the 3D flowers, unfortunately my camera overheated, so I had to shut it down. But I did get a little bit here and there. So if you guys would like a more in-depth video of how I do 3D flowers, then like this video, comment below, let me know, and I will definitely film that for you guys. But basically, I just apply a tiny little bead, wipe my brush off, and then I press the bead out with the body of the brush, with the tip of the brush centered to where I want the middle of the flower to be. As you can kind of see I'm doing here. I'm not sure why it's out of focus. It's focusing on the acrylic powder down there instead of on her fingernail. I'm sorry about that. But here I am. I'm just pressing out that bead so that it gives it kind of like a petal look. And then over on the side, I'm going to apply another one, just a really tiny little bead, because as you can see, there's not a lot of space over there, and I don't really want any of the flowers hanging off. So I'm applying that, and then I'm pressing it out, so that way it gives it more of a petal look than looking like a ball. And then I just repeat that same process with all of the flowers. So as you guys see, I kind of use the tip of the brush to go in between the petals to separate them, to give them a more defined look for each individual petal rather than them running together. When you're using the body of the brush to push out the petals, sometimes they do kind of just run together if your bead isn't dry enough. So you want to make sure that you go back in and separate those up so that way it actually looks like individual petals rather than just one big blob. Okay, so in order to create those leaves that you see on that finger right there, which is her ring finger, I basically follow the exact same process as you do for the flowers. So I place a little bead and then I press it out, but instead of pressing it out into a circular type form, I bring it to a point, and then I use my cuticle pusher to put little lines in it, so that way it gives it more of a leaf effect. If that makes sense. If not, I will make another video specifically catering to how I do these little 3D flowers. So no worries, this is kind of just a rundown of it, and I'm sorry that I didn't get a lot of footage. I wish I did, because these nails were so beautiful, and I wish I could have shown you all how, like exactly how I created them, because I love how they turned out. She loved how they turned out. They were so cute, and I know she loved them. So now I'm applying these AB crystals to the center of all of the flowers, and this is the only footage I got, so what you see here is all you get, and I'm sorry, but this is the finished product. They turned out so beautiful. On her middle finger, I added a big old butterfly crystal right there, and it just looks so pretty. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you would like to see more from me, then go ahead and like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm sorry I didn't get a whole lot of footage. Bye.